Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my opinion. And the Chennai Super Kings have lost their third match in a row. And you saw in the previous match they came close. In this case, it was a one-sided defeat. Aditya is appearing on this channel after a long while. What did you think about this match?
Yeah, hi everyone. It's been a while, but I'm back now. I've watched the whole game today, and I'm disappointed, to be honest, because you know it's the fourth game, and it's another big loss for CSK. I mean, me and you, we both were discussing before the match started when the Delhi Capitals won the toss and chose to bat. That was half the game gone for CSK because I felt they CSK did make two big changes today. They made Devin Conway come in for Jamie Overton, and they took off Rahul Tripathi and brought in Mukesh Chowdhury. What do you think about those changes? I think you were mentioning before that Devin Conway needed to come in. I think that was the right decision, and I think both the changes were right. To be
Well,
honest,
I don't know about the second one. Second one, I would not agree with because I said Anshul Kamboj in my preview video, and they voted Mukesh Chaudhary. I don't know why they preferred him over Anshul Kamboj. You've seen him performing the last hour. If you're taking 10 wickets in an innings in a domestic match, in a Red Bull match, where a lot of times playing in India, the seamers wouldn't get as much bowling compared to the spinners. You've got some talent. Not saying Mukesh Chaudhary doesn't have talent, but Anshul Kamboj has been doing so well. You cannot leave him out. He should have played from the start. So them not playing him, I don't understand. Devon Conway bringing him in was a correct decision because I talked about solidity. I also didn't know if Rutraj Gaikwad is going to be available for this match, but he was available. And in them from before, I'd said because you've not got the options outside, the top three should be Devon Conway, Rachin, and then Rutraj Gaikwad. Now, before I go into the Delhi 11, and I'll get your views on this as well. People are saying Rutraj should open the batting, that is his best position, and to an extent I agree. However, if you're playing this top three, then out of those three, he's the most likely to be able to bat one position lower. So in this case, if you don't play Devon Conway, who we'll touch on this, why we feel that he's not succeeding, and especially on a surface like this, why he will not succeed. And if you're pretend you're dropping Devon Conway, you're playing Rachin and Rutraj to open, you could play one of Sheikh Rashid and Andre Siddharth at number three. What do you think about that?
see, I feel like Devin Conway. They had no choice but to play him to strengthen our batting order, because they really need to do something about the the batting order because it hasn't worked for them so far this season. But as you say, they've had all these like youngsters in the sitting on the bench for a while now. Like Sheikh Rashid has been with the CSK for 3 years, right? So and I don't get the point of just making these youngsters sit out and not giving them a chance. I mean, why have you got them and why are you persisting with them? I think all the other teams, if you look at teams like Mumbai Indians and even Kings 11 Punjab and Rajasthan Royals, they've got a very young team. Yes, they might not all the matches might go their way, but they've got a young team when they're giving these players a chance to showcase their skills. We've seen a player like Ashutosh Sharma and like Shashank Singh. They've proven because they've been given the chance to go out there and just play their natural game. And I think you could give it's worth a shot giving someone like Andre Siddharth and Sheikh Rashid a chance to go out and do the same thing.
Now, the
Because
reason why, sorry, the reason why I'm saying two things. One, you could say because of circumstance that could be an option. Usually, CSK they go for experience, and it's got them success. In this case, and as you alluded to, you're looking at the backups in the squad. Who's someone who's really challenging for those first team spots? You've got Anshul Kamboj, and then you've got Sheikh Rashid and Andre Siddharth. Because as I said in my preview, my season preview, if those two don't get into this side now, when are they going to get in? Because this would be the weakest that the CSK batting lineup has ever been. And that is why I feel one of those two should play at number three. Then you go to Raj Gaikwad to open with Rachin Ravindra. And you could maybe only play three overseas players, not a compulsion to play four. But if you're going to play Devon Conway, Raj Gaikwad has to bat at three out of those three players, in my view. And now on Delhi. Faf du Plessis was not available for this match, so they played Jake Fraser McGurk to open alongside KL Rahul. KL Rahul was promoted. I'd still say he should bat. If he's going to bat in the middle order, he has to bat at 3 at a maximum, not at 4. You saw in the previous match, he scored 15 of 5 in a net run rate situation. On a surface like this, I thought he benefited from that time in the middle to then accelerate. If he walks out of 4 and tries to play shots on a slow surface, I don't feel that in this game. So I'd rather see him bat in the top 3. And they went with 3 overseas players today because, as I've said before, they don't have backups outside. So they didn't select the wrong combination. And Mukesh Kumar is going to be the impact sub. Now, with this bang up, it's a very ordinary lineup according to me. And if you take KL Rahul out of this side, if KL Rahul is dismissed early, who have you got there to bat 20 overs against this CSK spin attack? Apart from Akshay Patel, who would have benefited after KL Rahul going well, then you've got no one. The others can score. Abhishek Patel can score 30 or 40, but is that going to win you a match in this case? No. So I thought that CSK, if they dismissed KL Rahul, then they could go on and win this match, and we're going to get into the innings. And what did you think about the power play bowling? I said they should get to 55 for 1. They got to 51 for 1. What did you think?
So they got an early wicket of Jake Fraser McGurk. I think Khalil Ahmed bowled an outstanding over up front. He was moving the ball, swinging him out, and Jake Fraser McGurk, he didn't even know where the ball was going. And a player like him, he's just a bit of a hit and miss player. He's either going to get you a quick 30, 40, maybe 50, or he's going to get out straight away. And that over he was just beating the bat constantly, and he gave into the pressure, and he just hit a wild shot straight to the fielder. Even when he gets out, I think given that Faf wasn't in the team today, that early wicket I thought was going to be pressure. There's going to be pressure there, but it was very refreshing to see KL Rahul bat at the top of the order. I think he's a sort of player that even when he bats at 4 or 5, right, he's still going to give you, he's still going to do what's needed for the team. He's that player who can bat anywhere. But I feel like he bats best when he's opening. I think that's when he doesn't think too much, and he's not under pressure, and he just bats freely. And today he didn't even
said the opposite though. And I'm not saying I'm saying it depends on the format. In T20 cricket, I think him opening is good. In one-day cricket, maybe they've played him at 5. It's not that he can't open. Continue what you were saying.
Yeah, especially in T20 in the IPL. To be honest, I'm just saying in the IPL, and I think he the way he batted today. He didn't even break a sweat. He just pierced the gaps. It was just timing, to be honest, and a few power hits down the ground and pull shots here and there for 6. But he didn't really break a sweat. It was a really good knock to watch. It was a pleasant innings to watch. And as you said, Faf wasn't there today. I think he just took on that extra responsibility. He knew that he was the guy that had to be there in the lineup to stand up. He was surrounded by a batting lineup, which is a bit like you can't really trust anyone else to bat through the innings. And yeah, it was a really good knock to watch. And without him, they might have struggled to get to 180. But in the end, he made it happen, which was good. And the CSK bowling, let me get your opinion on this. We were confused when we were watching the game. The spinners didn't finish their overs, and it was just a bit puzzling to watch given the pitch as well. What do you think?
Well, it's something I've expected because we've seen in the past spinners haven't completed their overs even on a turning track. You saw the previous season in Ahmedabad, Jadeja bowls 2 overs, then Darryl Mitchell bowls 4 overs and goes to 52. And you wouldn't expect him to bowl 4 overs in any day. So I feel it's something that Raj Gaikwad does not trust the spinners. And in that case, doing this at the auction table, picking up Noor Ahmed when you're not bowling him for a 4th when he's been your best bowler, I thought it was very inexplicable. And so you're letting this batting side, I'll say this again, you're letting this batting side get to 183 without Faf. You've got the spinners that you've got Khalil Ahmed who's been in very good form, and you're doing something wrong. And I'll say this again. You've retained Matisha Paterna for, I think, 11 crores. And in that case, if you're an overseas fast bowler in the IPL, you've got to be able to bowl on the power play and at the death. And people were saying, oh, Patiana really restricted the runs. This team cannot chase above 180. Today, none for 18 and 2. Then it says 1 for 31 and 4. There's a meaningless contribution in the last 2 overs. And when you saw against Rajasthan and today, they sort of hobbled along past 180 at the end, but they got past that. And that's what's going to be the dictating factor. There's no point saying I bowled 2 good overs at the end. It had no impact on the match. I'd say they should bowl 1 over in the power play today. They bowled Ashwin again in the power play. Luckily, he bowled well because that if he had gone for runs, then people were already saying that they should drop him for some reason, and his confidence may have reduced more. And by the way, he's the most what in terms of the Khalil Ahmed. 2 for 25 and 4. Then Ashwin is the most economical 1 for 21-3. He doesn't bowl this 4. So I just don't understand. You're bowling Mukesh Chaudhary in the 19th over. He goes for 50 runs in 4 overs, and you're not bowling the rest. So really, I didn't understand that. And for Delhi, there's one point in the batting where they were 91 for 3. And I don't know why they sent out Samir Rizvi ahead of Ashutosh. Because Ashutosh has got the confidence Samir Rizvi is only going to play this match until Faf du Plessis is back. Had that become 91 for 4, then you could have put pressure on Delhi. Now, he scored 20 runs. And then KL Rahul, who was 29 of 23, then he accelerated, especially off Noor Ahmed in the latter 10, which is why I'll say he should bat in the top 3. He should not bat at 4. He'd benefit from that time. So 183, I thought it was a match-winning score. And we will get to... I think, is there more to talk about the bowling? I feel if Anshul Kamboj was playing, would he have gone 50 runs? No, with the confidence that he's got. And you're not using things correctly. And we were talking about this. Bowling is the side's strength. Yet, look at the ineffectiveness in the power play apart from one bowler. Then they're conceding 180. So, it's where the strategies have not been employed properly. You're not selecting Anshul Kamboj. You're not bowling the bowlers when you need to bowl them. I'd say Noor Ahmed, if he had to bowl a spur in the power play, bowl Noor Ahmed rather than Ashwin, and you're not even bowling his 4 overs anyway. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, you're right. The point you made about Maticha Patirana, the fact that he didn't really bowl in the power plays apart from that 1 over. Or even at the start, I think he's your best bowler, right? He's your best seamer he's your X factor bowler. Like I know he's not playing, but like a Bumrah would be for Mumbai Indians, you've got Matisha Patirana, and he bowled well today. And it doesn't make sense that you didn't bowl him in the power play. If anyone, he could have been the guy that got you a wicket, So yeah, and I don't know why CSK you've missed 4 overs, 4 to 5 overs of spinners, so. It didn't make sense to me why Rutraj Gaikwad was against the spinners, and Ashwin bowled well today. Even though he didn't take any wickets, 7 and over is a pretty good performance on this, given the score that they got to. So yeah, they could have, and they didn't use him properly. And Mukesh Chowdhury, you can't drop him after this game. It's just you've given him one chance only, and it's his first game, so you can't. Similar to Vijay Shankar, they had to give Vijay Shankar a next match.
And this is where I'm getting to. I'll get to this afterwards about the chopping and changing. They made, I think, 6 changes thus far, which they wouldn't do across the season. And we'll get to that in a bit. And now let's talking about the batting innings, which was a bit of a formality. We knew they were going to lose. And 3 wickets falling. I'd said after the top 3, you'd said this as well. After the top 3, is there someone in the side who you can win the match from 41 for 3 and 5.3? No. And
yeah, I've said this, and it's like we saw today, right? Ruturaj Gaikwad, Rachin, and Conway. If those 3 get out, it's game over, effectively. And because Dubé, I think people have figured him out. People, they used to say, "Oh, he's really effective against the spinners. He can hit the sixes. He can get the run rate going and stuff like that." But and if you bowl it in the slot, he'll hit you for 6. If you don't, if you vary your lengths a bit, maybe bowl the goose.
The correct bowling. Yep, you're right.
Basically, bowl it away from his arc, or don't bowl it full, and he won't hit you. Which we saw today, and I think people have figured him out because last year he didn't really perform that well. This year he is not doing well, and it's at this level in the IPL especially. It only takes a season to really figure someone out like Dube. You know, he doesn't move his feet; he just sort of swings the bat. And if Dube doesn't fire, then you have basically got no one. I mean, Ravindra Jadeja. I don't even. In my mind, he's not even like a proper batsman anymore for CSK at this point in time because he can't play the spinners and he's struggling to accelerate and he's just not able to hit it off the square. I haven't seen him.
And what did I say before? I've said this in previous videos. 14 balls. He takes 14 balls to go aggressively against spin. I will say this again. 14 of 14, 18 of 15, 24 of 16 against RCB. Against Rajasthan, 32 of 21. How many boundaries against spin? 0. We saw how he was dismissed today. If you're sending him ahead because you don't have a power hitter, you're expecting him. And I'll say this, in test matches, he walks out at 5 in India, scores a century. Is he a bad player of spin? No. He can't attack spin. So, and this is a problem because before we talk about I think there's something which you've discussed a lot. And we're talking about two players here, Devon Conway, Vijay Shankar. And the common thing between them is you're looking at the bat swing for Devon Conway. The one shot that he finds a productive shot is a flimsy drive through cover. Then at times he goes to the off drive. Apart from that, he sometimes plays across the line a bit. And even when he's defending to a straight ball, it's a bit awkward because of his bat swing. That's why when fast bowlers bowl around the wicket and bowl straight at the stumps, he finds it difficult. Mohammad Shami, whenever he's done that, he's dismissed him bowled. And he at times, when a short ball is bowled, he takes one hand off the bat and plays over the ball. So he'll go on the ground, but he's not been comfortable. So he will sometimes look to play a pull shot, but he can also look to play across the line while he's trying to access the leg side. He plays a flimsy cover drive through the offside and maybe the off drive. So he doesn't have the shots, especially to succeed on the slow surface because of the fault in the bat swing. Vijay Shankar also played across the line today. That's why I feel he doesn't have the power thing against the spinners. So you got those two. Jadeja takes 14 balls. Dhoni is a pace hitter. How are you going to win when you're chasing that kind of score? I don't think you would.
See, someone like Devon Conway, right? There's a problem with his bat flow. I would say the pathway. There's something wrong with it in terms of the fact that he's not able to access areas straight or leg side. So, and he struggles a little bit. So, but you also have to consider the fact that he hasn't played a lot of cricket in a while. So he didn't even play the whole Champions Trophy, did he?
No, but he has played cricket. He played the SA20, and
Oh,
he
he
didn't do
played.
anything there. He
I
played
mean,
the Champions
after
Trophy
the
within
Champions
one match.
Trophy,
Not Champions Trophy, something else, I think.
yeah. So he's had a little bit of a break, and it's his first game back. And yeah, both I would say Conway and Vijay Shankar. I would say this about Vijay Shankar as well. Even though he seemed like he was struggling today, I felt like he was trying his best, but he just couldn't because he's not a power player. He doesn't muscle the ball. He's someone who times the ball. Vijay Shankar.
Against spinners, he's not got the power game, and we've seen that a lot. And
He
you're
played
sending
he hit
both.
a few boundaries against the spinners today. He hit a few boundaries over cover against the
Yeah, but
spinners
off a
today,
few half
right?
trackers and off a few
All
full
of
ones,
them,
but I'm not going to change the match.
all of them were just him timing the ball. He wasn't muscling them. So I don't think he's a big hitter of the ball, to be honest. And you've said this in the past. When he batted for Gujarat Titans, he batted at number 3, and that's where he was
Even
effective.
at number 5, he batted, but he batted then on better batting surfaces, not on these
Yeah,
slow tracks.
batting on
So
completely different tracks, slower tracks, and I don't think he's a power player. And you mentioned about Dhoni. Look, probably Dhoni's one of his biggest fans out here. Like I would never say anything bad about him, even if he plays badly. But I just feel like his age is sort of catching up to him. I mean, he hasn't played cricket for so long. He's out of cricket for so long. Someone like a Faf du Plessis, he's 42, but he's constantly in it. He's taking care of his fitness. He's constantly playing cricket. I think even for someone like MS Dhoni, if you take a break for that long, you're gonna be rusty against against the spinners and the bowling, and you're not going to be able to. It's not going to be the same Dhoni as we've seen in the past, because today was his best opportunity, I believe. Even though that I know you said that, and you would agree with me here, that the reason they lost was not because of Dhoni. Even the
Yeah.
previous
They have not
Dhoni
lost
didn't have
because of
anything to do with the reason they lost. It was a collective loss as a team. They lost because their
and he
bowlers.
couldn't do anything because he does keeping. He kept very
Yeah,
well, and
I
in
felt like
batting he worked out
today,
so late. So
even if they lost, this was his best opportunity to at least show or prove that he could sort of get some hits in. And I mean, you got to give credit to Mohit and Mitchell Stark, Mohit Sharma and Mitchell Stark. They bowled brilliantly.
even Stark, I didn't think he bowled that one. Mohit Sharma, I thought was fantastic.
But I feel like today was his chance. It just wasn't coming off for him, and you could see it in his face while he was batting. He wasn't happy with himself, and Vijay Shankar as well. He was under pressure when he had to hit. I think when he saw that Dhoni wasn't able to get it away, that just added so much pressure on Vijay Shankar, and you could see he was just swinging without even looking at the ball. He was missing the ball so many times, hitting his body, hitting the edge, and yeah, you could see it. And apart after Dhoni, no one's gonna hit. So I don't think personally. I think whatever changes you make to the side, I don't think it's going to make it any better. To be honest, because your batting is just not there, and I feel like if the bowling doesn't click, then it's very hard for CSK to succeed.
When you say the batting is not there, I think the only option is to bring in one of the two youngsters. You play three overseas players, and you go with one of Andre Siddharth and Sheikh Rashid. Then in that case, Rutraj Gaikwad can open the batting. I don't know if they are going to drop Vijay Shankar. Maybe what they could do is you could play both Andre Siddharth and Sheikh Rashid. So you could drop Conway and Vijay Shankar, and then you play both those because you've not got anyone else, as you said. And now we go to Delhi because Akshay Patel didn't bowl apart from the one over that he went for five. He didn't bowl, and yet they've lost in such a convincing manner. I don't know why they're putting Vipraj Nigam ahead of him. They're saying matchups, but he bowled quite a few half trackers today. So it's 2 for 27, but I wouldn't say it was that great of a performance.
See,
And
I saw him bowl. Right, he wasn't bad. He didn't bowl badly. He wasn't bowling. Yes, maybe he bowled something like Vijay Shankar. He could have got away, but he bowled to a few balls to Dhoni as well, and I think he bowled quite well. His lines were
Kuldeep
tight.
bowled a few half trackers as well. I saw to Vijay Shankar early on, and yet everything just kept going to the fielder.
Yeah, and that has a lot to do with Vijay Shankar was under immense pressure. Uh, his head wasn't clear today, and Dhoni
It's
wasn't
like a
able to get
batter.
it away. Dhoni wasn't able to get it away. I think there was too much responsibility on Vijay Shankar, who was just coming in with the second game of the IPL and playing on a slow track, and a lot of pressure on him. So Vipraj Nigam, he bowled well. I think he bowled really well. But yeah, I just think they couldn't do anything about it because CSK did not have the batting to see it through.
So, and on DC, just wrapping up on them, now Trajan hasn't returned. If he returns, this attack is going to easily be, I think, is going to be one of the best attacks in the league. Then you've got, I'll say this again, the Jake Fraser McGurk ploy is not going to work. When Faf du Plessis is back, KL Rahul bats at 3, and since Highbrook has pulled out, they've got one slot remaining. Sign Johnny Bairstow. I think he's captaining Yorkshire now. I don't know if you'll be able to sign him because of that, but just try and sign him. Johnny Bairstow, Faf du Plessis, KL Rahul is a fantastic top 3. Then you've got Abhishek Purat rising in stature. Then Akshar Patel and Tristan Stubbs, Ashutosh Sharma. Imagine what kind of a batting lineup that is. Then you've got the best attack in the league. This team has not got options outside. But if people don't get injured, if people don't lose form, this team, they're going on a roll. I think they will qualify for the playoffs now, barring injury and loss of form. So let's see how they go. Very good victory for them today. Convincing victory for them today. And now, pun?
Yeah, they look a well-rounded side. I think they just if Faf comes back, I think they just tick all boxes. Their fielding was really good today as well, and I think they look a good side. I think they're one of the best sides in the tournament for sure.
And so now we're getting back to CSK, where just getting close to wrapping up now. They were 74 for 5 in 10.4. And yet I didn't I look I saw how proceedings went, and then I said, okay, I think something will happen here. Surely they just won't surrender without a fight from I think 108 or 54 at that point in time, and then there was just the inning just meandered along. There were just singles a lot of the time. The boundaries that were got were fairly inconsequential, and I was fairly confused by the progression. In terms of optimization, as you said, I don't think there's anything much that can be done apart from in one case you bring Anshul Kamboj in for Mukesh Chaudhary. And on that topic, before we conclude, CSK don't make many changes, yet they are making changes now. So do you think that's disrupting the team philosophy because they've won by sticking with the same 11? What do you think?
See, I don't think it's wise to make a change now, right? But they had before they had to all these changes that they've made so far. They had no choice but to make. I mean, look, you can't keep Deepak Hooda in the team and Rahul Tripathi in the team. I mean, they're not even. You don't have enough bench strength. They're not even. They're the so-called experienced players that they bought, right? So, and then none of them are match winners. Deepak Hooda, Rahul Tripathi, they just have no
Tripathi, I still thought he could have been backed. He played in his wrong position. I mean, right now in this case, would he have scored 69 or 54 if he was walking out at 4 in this time? I don't think he would have done.
But yeah, but I just don't have great confidence in their.
Fair enough. He's not been in confidence as well. He's not done
So
much of his domestic seasons either.
yeah, Jamie Overton, we knew that he was just I don't know. There was nothing about I don't know why they bought him. There was nothing. He's an average bowler in my opinion, and his batting is not even. It's nowhere near that level to call him an all rounder. So I wouldn't say Jamie Overton was going to cause an impact either. And there's no other players there. I mean, they had to make some change because nothing was working for them. And I feel like the change that they made today, Devon Conway coming in for Jamie Overton and Mukesh Chowdhury coming in for Tripathi, is their best bet. Maybe you can swap Anshul Kamboj in for Mukesh Chowdhury, but you can't drop Mukesh after just one game. So this is their best bet. I feel like they should just go with the same 11 for a couple games. And obviously, if they lose the next couple games as well,
And three changes they should bring in. I think they should be.
yeah. Then if they lose the next couple games, they're out of the tournament. They have nothing to lose, so you might as well bring in Andre Siddharth, Sheikh Rashid, and Anshul Kamboj as well.
So that's on that. CSK have got work to do. Delhi Capitals, I think they'll qualify now if they keep the same side generally. Let's see how things go. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, share with your friends. Remember, this is our opinion. What's yours?